How to pick a virtual assistant, coming right up. So with the rise in usage of virtual assistants with small business owners and entrepreneurs, I thought this week I should give you some tips on how to pick the perfect virtual assistant, the perfect VA. And I'm going to give you 6 quick tips on how to do that, what sort of person to pick. First of all, depending on what your first language is, your native language, your business language, you obviously want to make sure that that VA is pretty proficient in your language. I would say even if they're not customer facing, even if they're sort of doing back office work like web work or something like that, you obviously need someone who can converse in your language. So my native language is English, so I've tried virtual assistants from all over the world. The best virtual assistants I've found to suit me in terms of language and culture and so on are based in the Philippines. So, and all of my VAs have great English. So language is number one. What's the second thing I tend to pick for? Attitude. And in fact, I'll put a link down below on an interview, a real live interview that I recorded with the interviewee's permission, I should add, showing how I interview virtual assistants. And attitude is everything for me. To a degree, qualifications, skills, experience, all of that can kind of take second place. I want someone who's motivated, who's got the right energy and so on to work with me long term. And, you know, they really do have the right attitude for the particular role and to work with my business. So I'm really, through the interviewing process, trying to tease out, you know, a little bit more about them, to understand them a bit more and see what sort of attitude they have towards things. So attitude is probably my number one priority that I hire for. Number 3 is going to be cultural fit, or fit generally. Are they going to be able to fit into working with your business? Are they the sort of person that's going to work well with the rest of your team? Maybe you have other outsourced members of the team, or virtual team. Maybe you have other people in your office, in your home country. Are they going to be able to fit in well with them? So that's really important. And all of that comes down to, you know, the attitudes of the person, the cultural fit, the language, and so on. So fit, number 3, is really important. Number 4, and this is coming down the scale a little bit, depending on the particular role, are the skills. So to me, you hire on attitude, and if the skills are lacking a little bit, it's not the end of the world, because people can be taught. I would much rather have someone who's 10 out of 10 on attitude than 10 out of 10 on skills, but a 3 on attitude. So skills are particularly important. Yeah, and in technical areas, I mean, obviously you want someone who's building websites and things, they've got to have some good skills at that, or online marketing, but those skills can always be enhanced. And what I've found with my team over the years, we do some continual training processes, and so they're always keeping up to speed on their skills and improving and so on. Qualifications, number 5. I think it's fairly important. It's almost a given that they're going to have certain qualifications to be able to really get shortlisted for the interview. So all of my team, for example, have bachelor's degrees in a suitable discipline, whether that be in, you know, marketing or editing or whatever it might be, multimedia communication. We've got a few qualified in that. I think that's important because it shows that they've gone through, you know, the effort and the discipline of learning what they need to know for their particular role. It's raising their level of understanding, perhaps in business generally, depending on the degree. So I think qualifications are pretty important, and you should really look for that. Number 6, the final one, is experience. I'm kind of on the fence here, because in some roles, you probably want someone who's had a lot of experience doing that kind of work before, but I'm not so sure it's essential. If they've got the right attitudes, the right skills, the right qualifications, they can do pretty well. So obviously, you know, experience is very useful, but you don't want to have to unlearn someone to teach them how you do things as well. So I guess what I'm saying is experience is good, but it's not a deal breaker if they don't have experience. So just as an example, and I've mentioned this on the channel before, my very first virtual assistant, my PA, joined me straight out of university. She was 19 years old, and within a year she was running a business for me. So did she have a lot of experience? No. probably going right up to the top of my list. It's all about attitude again. So there we go. 6 things that I look for when I'm hiring, interviewing VAs. What do you look for? What are some of the really important elements that you look for when you're hiring a virtual assistant? Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye for now.